Hello and welcome to Eyelashes Extensions in Kent. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to bridge gaps. So if you get a client that comes to you with bald spots, whether they're natural bald spots, whether they've had lash extensions applied elsewhere and a result of this they've got bald spots, or whether from wearing mascara whilst removing it they've called lash trauma and they've got bald spots, we can do something about this. It's really important to understand that for this technique you need to use a much thinner lash. So you're going to be using 0.07s or 0.1s, possibly a 0.15, but very rare occasions. So for the purpose of this tutorial we're going to go with our 0.07s or our 0.1s. What I've done so far is I've lined up 5 lashes here. I've actually got them in a purple colour, so hopefully they'll come out on the camera a little bit better. And I'm actually going to show you through using some false ones that I've got here. If I do it on a real client, it's going to be really difficult for you to see what I'm doing with this camera. So I thought if I set it out like this, you're going to be able to see how we do it. So let's imagine that this is our client's lashes and they've got lots of big natural gaps. Now, if somebody's got a lot of natural gaps, there is only so much that you can do to cover this up. However, if they're used to seeing natural gaps, then if you can make their lashes appear less gappy, they're going to think you're brilliant. But also you've got to bear in mind that lashes are not going to last as long when you're having to bridge gaps. Okay. There's several techniques in which you can do. I'm not an expert. I've not been shown or trained how to do this by a trainer. However, I've learned from other lash techs and I've done the techniques myself on my clients and they work. So this is how I do it. And like I said, this works. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm actually using 0.15s from Lash Base. You wouldn't do this on a normal client, but if I use really fine lashes, you're probably not going to be able to see what I'm doing. So these are the client's natural lashes and this is the false lash. First of all, there's several techniques that you can do. This is not one that I use myself, however it is one that you can do, okay? So if this is the natural gap here, you would apply one of your lashes, so this is the natural lash, this is a false lash, off at an angle, so you're creating a cross. So you'd bond it at the bottom with glue. So imagine I've got glue on the bottom there, I haven't, this is just double-sided tape, and you would stick your lash like that. So this is natural lash, the purple one, and this is our extension. So we would then take another, let's say a 0.07 or a 0.1, depending on how strong our client's lashes are, and we do exactly the same with the other lash. So we'd bond it at the bottom, so we've now created a cross. Then we would take again our thinner lash, and you would then put the glue about halfway up on this lash here, the extension, and you would glue where the two false lashes meet. So you would glue at the cross, and that is how you would bridge a gap. Bear in mind that this last lash that I've put on is only bonded through the middle, so you're only going to get a few days out of it. So if clients are going to think that they can go 3 weeks with lots of gaps and your bridging technique, they're not going to get very long out of it. It's just one of those things. But you know, these are techniques that we can do that are going to, you know, give our clients the look that they want, but they must understand that they're going to have to come back for their maintenance much quicker than normal. But you know, these techniques can help because whilst their lashes are growing back, then they're going to help, and then when their lashes do grow back, we're going to have lots of lovely healthy lashes to lash. So that's one technique. I personally don't like that technique because I just don't think that the lashes are bonded well enough and the clients are not going to get the best life out of them. So this is the technique that I normally use for my clients. So again, we're going to use these two lashes here. So this is a natural lash and a natural lash, and I've got my extension. Again, remember, you would be using 0.07 or 0.1 for this, because we don't want to be overloading those existing lashes. If we cause lash trauma to those and cause those lashes to fall out, we're then going to have nothing to start attaching our lashes to, and we can't attach lashes to skin. So I would now come in and I would actually do pretty much the same that I did. So I would put this off at a V. So I would stick it off from the lash like that. Taking another lash. Same principle as before. So we're causing a cross. You'll have to let your glue dry. So, you know, don't do it at the speed that I'm doing it, because your glue won't be dry. Another lash, going to come in. I'm coming in from the bottom here. It depends how you want to do it when you're lashing your clients. You can come in from over the top, you can come in from the bottom. For me, it's easy at the moment to come in from the bottom because I'm working with sticky tape. So to come in, so I'm now bonding at the bottom again. So for you, those of you that have been taught that you should cover the whole natural lash with glue and bond your extension along that, this is where this technique is going to change for you, okay? You actually only need to have about 2 millimeters of glue bonding the extension to the natural lash for it to last. So for here, we are literally just bonding at the bottom of the natural lash. So I've now got 2 fine lashes running off one natural lash. So you can see how important that is, that we don't overload that natural lash. So if you want to start sticking 0.2s on this natural lash, that's not going to work. You're just going to cause lash trauma, and that lash is going to fall out, and it's going to leave you with even more bald spots, and your poor client is just going to have awful looking lashes. So we're coming in from the other side now, and again we're going to bond at the bottom, and again just pretend that I've actually got glue on the bottom. And that. So I turn that round. So hopefully you should be able to see from the bottom how those gaps have been bridged. If you're using 0.07s, bear in mind that you can actually apply up to 6 0.07s on one natural healthy lash. Most of my clients can only support up to 4 0.07s. Very rarely will I ever put 6 on them, but I'm just letting you know that, you know, these lashes on 0.07s are so much finer than the normal lashes that we use, so you've got the ability to be able to create more volume. So for this sort of technique that we're trying to do with bridging gaps, I would favour my 0.07s over my 0.1s, because I can use more of these to help bridge the gap. So we've got 2 0.07s on, so I can even go in with another one and pop it at the base. And again from the side. Okay, glue into the base. And again, bear in mind I would have glue on there. When it comes to uniformity of lashes, this is one thing that I take a lot of time to do, is to make sure that lashes sit straight all the time. Unfortunately, when it comes to bridging gaps, this method kind of goes out the window a little bit, because as you can see, I like my lashes to point straight up. With this method, it's just not possible. You're going to have lashes that crisscross. It's just one of those things. But your client is going to be so much happier if they can have their gaps bridged rather than bald spots left. Unfortunately, if you get a client that comes to you and they've got lots and lots of bald spots, there is only so much that you can do. So it's really important that you're realistic with them. Lashes take time to grow back. You know, it's not going to be, you know, a week long. You know, you can't give them a set of lashes one week and then they're going to have the fullest set of lashes the next week. It does take time, but with these methods, you know, we can bridge temporary gaps. Hope that has been useful to you. This is, like I said, is the method that I favour. I just think that the lashes are more stable and you can put more on. So go ahead, give it a try. Most importantly, remember that you must use your very, very fine lashes, 0.1 maximum, but I would recommend for this that you go for your 0.07s. Hope that's been useful to you, and thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.